Whoa, 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 hold on. Before you start commenting, stop your laughing. Let me do my disclaimer first of all, please. And I don't like doing these. And in most videos, it's okay to not do one. There's always going to be a couple of people that misunderstand. There's nothing I can do about them. But sometimes I go to do a video and I think, might need to do a disclaimer here because too many people may misunderstand and they will react via a misunderstanding. And despite this disclaimer, there will still be people that misunderstand and react accordingly. There's one subscriber in particular I'm quite confident will kick off, even though I've tried to explain what a transfer rumour is to him on at least 5 occasions now. I've given up. He'll be in the comments later on or tomorrow kicking off angry that I've reported that West Ham want Nicolas Jackson. There's nothing I can do about him. Anyway, I should just add and remind people that this is a West Ham transfer rumour show. All I do is collate the transfer rumours, inform you of what they are, attach my opinion to them where applicable. I don't make up these transfer rumours. Other people are the origin. That's important. I am a proud NITK. I'll have, unless it's Ben Johnson or Jesse Lingard, then I might know a little bit. Anyway, welcome to Hammers Chat. If you're new around here, please do subscribe. Drop a like on the video as well by clicking thumbs up button. If we could get 1,500 likes, that would be fantastic. Support has been incredible recently, so a massive thank you for that. And also just a reminder, we've got a raffle at the minute. 3 prizes, a match worn Martin Noble shirt, a signed Martin Noble shirt, and a signed Martin Noble captain's armband. The links in the description below and the pinned comments. Right then, you've seen the headline. The big one today, the big transfer rumour today is from Matt Law, who said that West Ham are interested in Chelsea striker Nicolas Jackson. Now, before I dismiss this rumour entirely, what I will say, I think we'll sign another striker. Not Callum, but I think we might sign Callum Wilson. I think we will sign another striker in addition to Callum Wilson. I think we will sign one that Graham Potter / Kyle McCauley wants. Because if we go back to the report that came out earlier this week, the news that broke that we were expected to sign Callum Wilson, that was the language, that's how it was given to us. In the exact same article, the quote from the person at West Ham, who I believe is David Sullivan, while stating we expect to sign Callum Wilson, he also said, I think we need 2 strikers. So that would insinuate, the impression I got from that was that Potter and McCauley might think they only want one. They're not prioritising a striker. Maybe they think they only need one in particular. But Sullivan himself thinks, actually, I think we need 2. So I'm going to go get one on my own, which is Callum Wilson. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm stretching here. But that's how I read it anyway. So as a result of that, I don't think we'll sign Callum Wilson and that's it for strikers. We're going into next season with Fulkrug, Wilson, Bowen and Marshall. I don't think that will be the case. I think there will be a other striker here too. Now, admittedly, I don't think it's going to be Nicolas Jackson. Chelsea are open to selling him. They publicly want 80 million, but they're believed to be willing to accept 60 million. Now, there's absolutely no hope in hell we can afford that. No chance whatsoever. I find it difficult to believe we could stump up 40 million for someone like Harvey Elliott. To jump up to 60, no chance. None whatsoever. And you know what? It would be stupid to do so as well. If we've got such a limited budget, if we are having to be careful and watch every penny we spend this summer, sanctioning a £60 million purchase on a player, regardless of who it is, would not be wise. Now, obviously, if you said to me, oh, well, if Isak was available, oh, of course, there's certain players you would take and spend all your budget on because they're that special. Jackson is not that special. Now, I'm a big fan of Nicolas Jackson. I think I'm one of his biggest fans that, actually, I was going to say that isn't a Chelsea fan. I think I'm a bigger fan of Jackson than some Chelsea fans. It happens though, doesn't it? I think you can do that when you're not emotionally invested or attached to anything like that. So as much as I like Nicolas Jackson, as much as I would love to see Jackson at West Ham, and I think he'd be a good signing for us, I don't want to see us spending big money on him. The compromise here would be a loan signing. Now, would Chelsea sanction a loan signing? I think so. And I'll tell you why. One, who's going to be paying 60 million for Nicolas Jackson? There's not many clubs could afford him. Never mind actually want to buy him and be willing to pay that price for him. There's not that many clubs that can actually just afford 60 million on a player, first of all. Number two, and here's the big one. Chelsea have sold Madueke, they've sold Petrovic. They will sell at least another 1 or 2 players. Raheem Sterling's believed to be going for around about 20 million as well. They will do over 100 million of player sales. So in terms of PSR this summer, they'll be okay. Despite how much money they're spending, because of the way PSR works, they'll be fine. They can sell one of their centre-backs as well, possibly Chalobah, especially when they bring in the player they're pursuing from Ajax at the moment, which, by the way, fantastic signing. Dewsbury Hall. There's a lot of players they can sell that, say, Chalobah, for example, they want 25 million for him. They'll get 25 million for him. But with Jackson, they'd have to take less than what they want because most teams have got their striker now. There's been a lot of movement already. So a loan move, I think, would actually be wise for Chelsea because he's only 23. Loan him out for the season. Next summer, if he does well on loan, that club might want to buy him. Other clubs might be interested. They're into the new financial period. So actually having a sale, having that 50, 60 million pound transaction for a player departure would actually be quite wise to have lined up for next summer. So I actually think a loan move for Jackson would make sense for Chelsea. I think it would make sense for West Ham. Pedro and Delap ahead of him in the pecking order now. I think it would make sense for Jackson to get out of Chelsea. And I feel like he just needs a fresh start. I just don't believe this in a second. Are we interested? Well, it's hard to be because apparently we're interested in Dewsbury Hall, Chalobah, Petrovic. We haven't made a move for any of them. We haven't budged for a Chelsea player. So it's difficult to believe that we'd go after Nicolas Jackson in particular. So as much as I'd like it, and I understand not many people are a big fan. I get why people don't like him, by the way. I'm not claiming he's perfect or he's got everything that you need in a striker. He has his flaws, absolutely. But we are not a European team anymore. I think we are the right level for Jackson. I think Jackson's the right type of striker for West Ham as well. If we could get him on loan, I'd be absolutely buzzing. I'm just, despite this coming from a good journalist, Matt Law is a good journalist, especially when it comes to Chelsea news. I'm just reluctant to believe it. Now, in regards to Callum Wilson, the worrying latest is that his agent wants a 2-year deal for Wilson. We are willing to offer him a 1-year deal, low wage, high incentives based on appearances and goals, and with an option of a further year in there. His agent apparently wants 2 years. Now, usually, I wouldn't be too worried. Usually, I think, well, do one then. You want your 2 years, you're not getting one, do one. We're not going to give him that. But because of his agent being Will Salthouse, it makes me a bit worried. I'm already against this transfer. Now, sometimes time, when you calm down and you look at things with less emotion and stuff. So a couple of days ago when this came out, I wasn't happy at all, right? I was not happy. In fact, I was angry. Not just Callum Wilson. I was angry at the situation we found ourselves in. I was angry at the prospect of Sullivan bringing in someone Potter isn't keen on, reportedly. I was angry at the fact that we were bringing in Callum Wilson and his agent was Will Salthouse because I don't believe we'd sign him if Will Salthouse wasn't his agent. So I was angry at a lot of things. Yesterday I was much calmer. Today I'm still calm. But usually as I get calmer, I tend to maybe look at it through a different perspective. Usually I can convince myself, I can see the other side. Usually I can see counter arguments as to why this is a good thing. There's some people that are okay with signing Wilson. And that's okay, obviously. But I don't understand. I still don't see their point of view or perspective. Well, that's wrong. I do. When they say, it's a low wage, you'd have to play to earn money and stuff. I get that. I still don't want him here. It hasn't changed my mind, is what I'm saying. So even 48 hours later, no emotion involved. Well, less emotion involved. I haven't changed my mind. I still don't want to see Callum Wilson at the club. The good news for me is that he's a Saudi club, Al-Ettifaq, are seriously looking at Callum Wilson. I am praying he gets offered a contract there because this is the big decision. Do you come to West Ham on a pay-as-you-play kind of deal, or do you perhaps secure your wage without having those incentives in Saudi? Now, obviously, you've got to go to Saudi to go get it, so I understand why he'd perhaps be more inclined to just remain in the Premier League. But I'm hoping another team comes in and offers him a better deal than what we are, and he goes elsewhere. It's not often I hope to miss out on a transfer target, but this is one of them. We've been linked to a couple of other strikers though, and I go back to what I said. I still think we might sign another striker because this whole Potter doesn't want a striker. I don't believe it, but I do believe that Potter perhaps is prioritising other positions. I still think goalkeeper is going to be the next one that we spend money on. And we've been linked to Roberto Piccoli of Cagliari in Italy. Never heard of him. He's 24 years of age, scored 10 goals last season in Serie A. Don't know who he is. So if you know anything about him, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Would you have him at West Ham? Because ultimately, that's the big question. And so another striker we've been linked to that I've never heard of is Idrissa Gueye. Not gonna lie, one of my friends texted me saying, "Have you seen we've been linked to Idrissa Gueye?" I thought, what are we getting him for? He's like 37, right? I can't be the only one that thought it was the Everton midfielder, right? So I thought, no, we don't need him. I want a new midfield, but not that. Didn't realise there was a Met striker. Didn't even know there was a Met striker called Idrissa Gueye. Anyway, 18 years of age. Rumoured price tag is 18 million. Strongly linked to Southampton. So the headline is Southampton want him, but other clubs such as West Ham are interested. Now, this would sort of make sense a little bit. Let's just say, hypothetically, Potter wanted someone like Idrissa Gueye and Macaulay. They'd identified an 18-year-old, or even just someone a bit older, but still really inexperienced, like Lucas Stassen. And they were going after him, and Sullivan was going after him, trying to get a deal done. And he started to wet his pants a little bit, thinking, oh no, I need a more experienced striker. I'm going to go get Callum Wilson as well. This is where it would make... I still don't like it. I still think it would be unnecessary, but it started to make a bit more sense. Unfortunately, I don't believe that's the case. As much as I think we'll get another striker in, I don't believe we are travelling down that road at present. I think we're just getting Callum Wilson because we can. But anyway, Idrissa Gueye. Interestingly, Douglas Luiz, though, for you guys that want him, I would quite like him here as well. I think he would walk into our midfield. He didn't turn up for training today at Juventus. So he's a way to get punished by Juve because it's an unauthorised lack of attendance. So he's meant to be at training. He just wasn't because he wants to leave. He's expected to leave. So for anyone that's wanting to get him, I think it's just got a little bit easier because surely Juventus's desire to offload him has just increased because they've now got a player not turning up for training. I believe we're interested. I do. I actually do believe we're interested. I don't know. I haven't spoken to anyone. I read exactly what you guys read. And I just get the feeling that actually maybe this is someone we'd like to bring in on loan. And I'm not against that. I'm not against bringing him in on loan. Ideally, with an option to buy rather than an obligation. I think if a deal was to be done, I'd imagine it'll be somewhere in the middle. A bit like what Jean-Claire Tadebo's was, which is he comes in, we pay a significant loan fee for him. If he starts 15, 20 games in the Premier League or something, then it turns into an obligation to buy rather than an option to buy. I'd imagine that's where the middle ground here is. So if he comes in, gets a season-long injury, or he's that crap, falls out with Potter, he doesn't start the 15 games, we can pack him back to Juve at the end of the season. They get a big loan fee. But if he comes in and is a reasonable success, then we have to buy him next summer. And I imagine it would depend on us avoiding relegation as well, because that's something the club will be taking into consideration right now. When doing these loan deals, not so much the permanent transfers, because you're buying them. But these loan deals, the last thing you want is to be getting relegated and you've just committed to a £30 million signing. You don't want that. So I think anyone we do bring in on loan will be dependent on us staying in the Premier League for it to go to an obligation, just like Tadebo's was. There was two clauses in there. One was appearances, and the other one was us staying and playing Premier League football this coming season. Both things happened. It was triggered. We had to buy him. I'd imagine if we were to go after someone like Douglas Luiz, it would be a very, very similar type of deal that we would do that's dependent on success and also our Premier League status next season. Anyway, that's it. There's not loads of transfer rumours out there. I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit disappointed. I was hoping for a bit of Hermansen talk this week. I was predicting a bit of Hermansen talk this week. I was obviously wrong. That's not happening. My only hope is, I'll leave you with this, my only hope is, I don't think Callum Wilson's a smokescreen. I think we are genuinely trying to sign him. My only hope is we cannot, what I will not believe is that we're not trying to sign anyone else, that we're just doing Wilson and that's it. I don't believe that. because last week, I'll point to literally this time last week, I said it in the video, but I also said it in the vlog. For those patrons, they'll be able to back me up on this that watched the behind the scenes vlog I did. During the week, in the vlog and in the video, one of the videos I do on YouTube, I said we will be talking to players. Right now, we just don't know who they are. And I'm still quite confident we will still be doing that right now. Yes, we've spent money on Diouf, we've spent money on Kyle Walker-Peters. We've still got a lot of money left over from Kudus there. We've just arranged the overdraft facility, so the wiggle room is there. We can buy players right now if we want to. I don't believe we're talking to Callum Wilson and that's it. I do believe that we will be in negotiations with at least one other player right now. Who that is, I don't know. And I like it. I like the fact we don't know. I don't believe it's Nicolas Jackson. If I had to put money on it, it would be Hermansen of Leicester City. I think that one would be who we're trying to bring in next. I hope it's a midfielder, but I feel quite confident we'll be talking to someone. We just don't know who it is. I quite like that. Anyway, I'm off skis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do drop a like on the video, a clicking thumbs up button. Sky Damage Chat. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.